We were a mile and a half or so from 300,000 people who were being forcibly starved to death by the Israelis. What is grotesque and absurd and obscene that I was not expecting was where we went to look at Gaza. I was expecting we would go to a hillside or there'd be a field that we could look across or something. We went to an observation platform, Judge. We went to an observation deck, just like you have overlooking Niagara Falls, including with the big binoculars where you put the coins in so you could see. And this is an observation platform that looks into Gaza, an observation platform that observes the genocide. And as we were there looking at Gaza, which is the experience itself, because you feel like a voyeur, you feel like a tourist, you find yourself disgusted with yourself that you're standing here watching this, but you're also so far removed. You're so separate from it that it's septic. It's sanitary. You don't see anything that's actually occurring there. You don't hear the screams. You don't hear the dying. You don't see the wrecked bodies. You can't even really make out the damaged buildings. But from this observation platform, it's very picturesque. And it's as if you're watching a movie, essentially. But what was really, and I'm still trying to come to terms with this, I'm trying to find the right words to describe this, and was the fact that as we were there trying to understand how we were relating to this genocide occurring in front of us, an Israeli school field trip showed up. And these children, they're teenagers, they came from 2 hours away to come and watch the genocide. And the first rush of boys to the top of the hill to that observation platform, when they caught sight of Gaza, when they caught sight of the genocide, they pumped their fists and they gave the middle finger to it, and they were very, very excited. And so the idea that there weren't just Israeli citizens who were looking at this, gawking at it, but school children have been brought on a field trip from 2 hours away to come and watch the genocide, is just an aspect of what's occurring here that my visceral reaction to it is one that I'm really troubled by and having a hard time to process, because it's that aspect of genocide that I observe directly, where the population sees it as entertainment, where you have this complete dismissal of the Palestinians as human beings, but as some form of other, that observing their mass murder is something that's just not acceptable among the population, but is part of their school curriculum. So that is, sitting here a day after, as you can tell, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I saw yesterday.
Genocide. Noun. The systematic killing of substantial numbers of people on the basis of their ethnicity, religion, political beliefs, social status, or other particularities. Genocide. Verb. To commit genocide against, to eliminate, a group of people.
As to the origin of the present Jews in Palestine, he states that those Jews derived from Eastern Europe, and many of the Jews that today live in the reconstituted state of Israel come from Eastern Europe, are not descendants of the Judeans or the lost tribes of Israel, but rather descendants of the Khazars. Who are they? They were a nation most people do not even know of. He writes, the so-called self-styled Jews in Eastern Europe in modern history cannot legitimately point to a single ancient ancestor who ever set even a foot on the soil of Palestine in the era of Bible history. Research also revealed that the so-called or self-styled Jews in Eastern Europe were never Semites, are not Semites now, nor can they ever be regarded as Semites at any future time by any stretch of the imagination. What secret, mysterious power has been able for countless generations to keep the origin and the history of the Khazars and the Khazar kingdom out of the history textbooks? Did you ever learn about it at school? I never learned about it. And out of classroom courses in history throughout the world, the origin and the history of Khazars and the Khazar kingdom are certainly incontestable historical facts.
Gaza is a total disaster. If you can think of something bad that is happening in the world, it's happening in Gaza or to people from Gaza. The things that I saw there that really stood out, or really impacted me and made me realize what's actually going on were a few. Number one was the malnutrition and starvation, which is deliberate. That's perfectly obvious. Even American senators are giving speeches saying that it's deliberate. The second thing was the targeting of children with gunfire. That I was not expecting to see, actually. I knew how many children had been killed. I knew about the massive killing in general, but I just assumed it was all from bombings. But that doesn't explain children getting shot in the head, and definitely not every day. I mean, literally every day I was there, I saw a child shot in the head. That's not an accident. That's deliberate targeting of children for death. That's murder. That is not something that my government should be supporting, that the United States government should not be funding this. Benjamin Netanyahu famously said, if the Americans cut off arms, then we'll fight with our fingernails. Okay, good.